Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I'm a stickler for maintenance and getting things set up right so they're ready to go when you need them. Well, for once, I've been caught on my own personal generator. Went to go test it before we go out of town this weekend, and to my horror, the fuel had been left on. So that means the fuel had been sitting in that carburetor for the last 5 to 6 months. And of course, it would start, but it was not running very well. So you can guess what's coming next. We need to pull a bunch of covers, get that carburetor out of there, and then get it cleaned up. Now, it's really not that tough to do. Just takes a few basic tools, and hopefully the only part we're gonna need is some carburetor cleaner. So let me go gather that up, and then we'll dive into this project. So let's start by getting off this access cover on the side. Now we're gonna have to go a little bit deeper. We'll be able to see the carburetor, but it's gonna take a bit more effort to get back there on the other side of that air filter to actually get it removed. So let's start off by getting off our end cover and see if we can attack it from that end. Alright, so there she is, and that'll get us to the air box. I haven't looked at this air filter in a long time. Shame on me. And my filter looks to be in really good shape, and that makes me happy. I can even smell that rancid gas from here. It hurts when I make a mistake like this. I would love to blame this on my son, but I know when I did it. We were at a track event, and I used it for just 2 minutes to charge up a air compressor, and I didn't run it dry afterwards. So I own this one. Let's go ahead and pull our panels. This will be too much of a pain in the butt to do with everything still in place. It's just a few 10 millimeters, so why make it more difficult on yourself than you need to? Plus, you can't really see what I'm doing in there with all these covers on it. But I know it can be done because I've done it before with the covers on, but it was probably not worth it. Let's move this along. One point though, I don't mind taking them apart with impacts, but don't use this to put it back together unless you've got a time cert account, because you'll end up stripping threads. Basically on this side there was just 10 millimeter nuts, or bolts rather. You just start pulling those, pull that outer cover, and then there'll be 2 more below that that'll get you to this cover here. Love these Yamahas. So easy to work on, and they're very reliable. So, yep, there you go. So much better. Now you can actually see what I'm doing. Inside you're going to see 2 rather large nuts, 10 millimeter. And they are attached to those studs that you see going into the head. There's one of them right there. Now, it does have a gasket on this side. Hopefully it'll break clean. I don't have to replace it. A little bit of electrical to deal with. I think that's a throttle position on the top. That goes over to this main control board, or I think that's actually the inverter / controller. The release clip is on the bottom. I'll show you in a second. So what you're after is just right here, that one clip. Just push in on that and she'll pull back. Next, now we do have a fuel line to contend with, but it is off. Make sure you've got yours turned off. When we've already drained the carburetor bowl. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to release that throttle cable before it's gonna let me slide it out of there. Let's see, may need to lift up the tank a little bit. There we go. Now we're down to just the fuel line. Now we're just going to squeeze the rubber a little bit, break it loose. Guess I wanted to make sure it didn't jump off. It's pushed on there about 3/4 of an inch. There we go. Let's take off that float bowl and see what we see. I think it's going to be a little green in there. What do y'all think? So let's open it up and see what we see. Not as green as I thought it was going to be, but still not fantastic. I think that's going to be our little problem child right there. So let's pull this jet and see just how bad it was, or is. I can still see through it, but not that well. A word of warning with carb cleaner or brake cleaner for that matter, if you don't wear glasses, go get some. You don't want this in your eyes. It is not a pleasant experience. Let's see what we've got. All right, let's go and get that float out of the way and take a look at it as well. See if that pin will come out without fighting me. Probably not. Ah, that wasn't bad. All right, that's looking good. That actually looked good as well. I mean, I'm surprised that this doesn't look worse than it is. Because so far, I don't see anything that was horrible. Do not let any carb cleaner or brake cleaner get on this. Otherwise, it'll deform it and you'll never get it to seal back up again. That would have gone right in my eye. All right, kids, I think we've got this under control. Let's get it back together and take a look at the pilot jet. Our float with our needle. And our O-ring gasket. And our bowl. And if she sits in there like this, we want this to be pointing out. So this way. All right, I didn't point it out, but I guess I should. There's a copper crush washer, or a sealing washer, it's actually material, on the bottom of that bolt. Make sure you didn't lose that. Otherwise, it is going to leak. All right, guys, there's one more jet we have to get to, and it is way in there. So let's go get it. All right. Don't let all that fly apart. Now let's go in there. There she is. All right, so there's our pallet. Let's grab it and take a peek. Let's see if we can get that to clear now. Come on, baby. Now, the correct thing to do right now would probably be to either A, replace it, B, put it in a ultrasonic cleaner, or C, what I'm going to do, use one bristle from my wire brush over there. All right, guys, that is cleaned out. Now, it does not go all the way through like you would normally see on a jet, you know, most of the jets I know of. It is just passing fuel from here to these holes on the side, almost like an emulsion tube. So that's what's going on. So we are good to go. Let's get her put back together. Push that in. Now tighten it down. So that's what that slot is for. It holds it at a certain direction. So those holes are pointing in the correct direction. All right. Let's get our throttle control back on there. There. Basically hold the throttle all the way open and then catch the motor. That is the trickiest part of this. The other jets are easy. Getting to that one is a little bit tricky. Make sure we're not binding anything anywhere. Yep. All right, now I think we're good to tighten it down. So now, we've gone through the float, we've looked at the main jet, the float bowl, now we've done the pallet jet. So let's get her back on there and see what happens. Get our fuel line, clamp, throttle control, choke cable, there we go. Bowl train, don't forget that hose, or vent. Engine vent. There we go. Two 10mm nuts. Air filter. Air filter cover. I think that's it. Fuel on, choke on. Let's check for leaks. Let's see it. Yep. That's what we want. So guys, I think we've got it. All I've got to do now is put all the plastics back on, or panels back on actually. Not much plastic on this one, most of it's metal actually. So let's get that done. It's basically just the reverse order of what we did a little while ago. Tank, side covers, then the upper covers. Not that much to it. Love it when a plan comes together. Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Well, listen, if you need any of these chemicals or any other parts for your machine, why don't you come see us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments about this video, leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And hey, if you like what you see, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you can keep up with whatever I'm working on next. We just want to say thank you for shopping here with us at Partzilla, and we will see you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.